This is the evolution of the Android operating system. In 2008, the HTC Dream hosted the first version Android 1.0. This inaugural edition included Google Maps, YouTube, an HTML browser, Gmail, instant messaging, text messaging, MMS, and more. It also paved the way for future generations of smartphones, introducing innovative features like the Android Market and App Store. Next came the version 1.1. Initially launched exclusively for the HTC Dream, which introduced new features such as business reviews on maps, saving attachments and messages, and a longer in-call screen timeout. In 2009, the Android 1.5, codenamed Cupcake, was released. It introduced the first on-screen keyboard, the ability to upload videos to YouTube, video recording, automatic screen rotation, support for widgets, copy and paste features in the web browser, and the ability to check phone usage history. Android Donut bought support for various screen sizes and resolutions, as well as compatibility with CDMA networks. Android 1.6 Donut also featured a quick search box, quick camera switching, the power control widget to manage Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. The true transformation came with Android 2.0 Eclair, which introduced turn-by-turn GPS navigation, immediately boosting the utility of mobile devices. Eclair was the first version with text-to-speech support, multiple account support, live wallpapers, and a lock screen that allowed unlocking by swiping. The 2.1 Eclair update brought bug fixes and minor API changes. The 2.2 Froyo introduced new features such as Wi-Fi hotspot, push notifications via Android Cloud to device messaging, and the ability to lock the phone with a PIN. Android 2.3 Gingerbread featured an updated UI design support for extra large screen sizes and resolutions, NFC support, video calling, multi-touch support, and selfie camera support. Android 3.0 Honeycomb was launched exclusively for tablets and larger screens, with the most important feature being the elimination of the need for physical buttons. Virtual buttons for home, back, and menu were introduced. Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich brought many of the features from Honeycomb, including unlocking the phone using the camera, the ability to monitor mobile and Wi-Fi data usage, screenshots, spell checking functionality, swipe gestures to dismiss notifications or browser tabs. Android 4.1 Jelly Bean was launched with Google Digital Assistant technology accessible from the home screen. It introduced expandable and interactive notifications, Google Now, greater widget flexibility, voice search and typing, lock home screen rotation support, and more. The release of Android 4.4 KitKat in 2013 marked the end of Android's dark era with lighter backgrounds and more natural highlights. This version was optimized to run on smartphones with just 512 MB of RAM and brought new features like screen recording, contact prioritization, and the OK Google feature, allowing access to Google without touching the phone. Android 5.0 Lollipop was a major overhaul in the overall looking of the operating system using Google's new material design language. Lollipop brought a modernized navigation bar, better notification on the lock screen that could be dismissed, the introduction of doze mode to close unused background apps, and support multiple SIM cards. Released in 2015, Android Marshmallow introduced Now on Tap, a potentially more popular feature. It also brought a new vertical scrolling app drawer, native biometric fingerprint unlocking support, USB-C support, Android Pay, memory manager, and the ability to separately adjust the volume of device, media, and alarms. Android 7.0 Nougat included many improved features like multitasking, particularly for larger screens. It introduced split-screen mode, quick app switching, the restart option added to the power button menu, battery usage alerts, Google Now was replaced by Google Assistant, and the notification system was improved as well. Android 8.0 Oreo brought visual changes to the settings menu, along with native support for picture-in-picture mode and the ability to enable, disable, or sort notification channels by importance. It also introduced password autofill and new emoji styling. Android 9.0 Pie brought many visual improvements, with the biggest change being the hybrid gesture button navigation system, replacing the traditional back, home, and overview buttons. It also brought battery life improvements, the shush feature that automatically activates the Do Not Disturb mode when the phone is placed face down, and adaptive battery, which hibernates apps that the OS determines the users won't use. With the release of Android 10, Google abandoned the dessert names, adopting a new logo and color scheme for Android. Android 10 included support for foldable phones, removed the pressable back button entirely, and introduced a system-wide dark mode. Android 11 brought significant changes regarding privacy, adding the option to grant apps permission for location, camera, and microphone on a one-time limited basis. It also introduced significant changes to notifications, allowing users to reply directly from notification, chat bubbles, native screen recording, and notification history. Android 12 introduced major updates, including a complete UI overhaul called Material U, allowing the interface to extract colors from the device's wallpaper to customize the user experience. Android 12 also came with more user-friendly widgets, enlarged quick setting tiles, and a simplified setting menu with larger text and smoother animations. Other updates included extended screenshots, improved notifications, in-app search, simplified Wi-Fi sharing, and a one-handed mode. In March 2022, Google released Android 12L, an update specifically focused on larger devices like tablets and foldable phones. The Android 13 largely maintained the same design as the previous version, but introduced new features such as expanded Material U customization options, a Now Playing widget, an improved QR scanner, native support for Bluetooth LE audio, support for digital car keys, and a new feature allowing users to set different languages for individual apps. Android 14 builds on Android 13's capabilities, introducing features that improve user comfort and customization. For example, it offers the ability to increase font size, new options for notification management, and better battery life. Personalization features have also been extended, including emoji wallpapers and customizable lock screens, as well as restrictions on access to photos and videos. Android 15 looks quite similar to previous Android versions, but there are some notable changes, such as partial screen sharing, satellite connectivity support, improved NFC experiences, new in-app camera controls. Android 15 also brings a universal toggle for keyboard vibration control, sensitive notifications that prevent OTPs from being read, changes for continuity features on foldables, and more. One of the major highlights of the Android 15 update is that it incorporates the latest version of Privacy Sandbox on Android, screen recording detection, and Android AI Core, a feature that allows apps to use AI directly on the device without needing the internet. Thus, from its humble beginnings in 2008 with Android 1.0 on the HTC Dream, Android OS has traveled an impressive path, evolving from a newcomer in the mobile tech world to a colossus dominating the operating system market. What do you think has been the most transformative Android version so far? Until next time, subscribe to our channels and stay connected and be future ready.